Welcome to NothingisOB South Texas Golf Podcast with your host, Andy Torres. Welcome to NothingisOB South Texas Golf Podcast, episode number 83. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Andy Torres. Today, I have a special guest. I have the grandfather of golf. I have Dave Roberts. Now, Dave is actually on his show right now, the Texas Golf Insider. He is going to be wrapping up, and he will join us here shortly. All right? But just to make sure, just in case some people need to know, in regards to the show here, there may be some explicit content here, and make sure you understand and know moving forward that the expressed opinions of the guest and the host, they may or may not be of the sponsors in regards to the show. Thank you so much for your support, and reminder, nothing is OB. All right, guys, I'm going to have Dave Roberts on the show tonight. He's going to talk just a little bit about some course conditions because he's been a general manager, and an owner at several, or really he's been an owner at one of the golf courses here in town. And he's been a general manager, and he's been all around the city dealing with golf courses. He currently holds a job where it's in regards to recreation, so which the golf courses fall under his baby and his watch for the Air Force. And he's going to talk just a little bit about his role and what he's responsible for and the improved conditions that we've had for some of the military courses. Excuse me. Looking forward to the updates on Fort Sam, Lackland, and Randolph because those courses are in great shape right now. It's a great time to be part of San Antonio Golf. I know La Loma and Salado out at Fort Sam are looking hell of a lot better. I know they had some rough months, especially dealing with some irrigation issues. And I know I'm super happy. And I know the guys out there are super thankful. I know Robert, I know Joseph, and I know Tony. I know all the guys, the pros out there that are thankful that the course is finally starting to look better. And I know my boy Brandon out at Gateway Hills, out at Lackland. I know he has got that course running in tip-top shape. It looks like we're going to be doing a show out there sometime soon. And here's my man right here, the grandfather of golf, Dave Roberts. Thanks so much, Dave, for being on the show.
Hey, got here as soon as I could, man. I just came here to drink beer and hit bombs, baby. That's all I'm here for.
Well, I need a shirt that says, I came here to drink Michelob Ultras and lay up. That's all I really do. That's all I really do.
I'll see what I can do for you, man.
Well, thanks so much, Dave, for being on the show. Hey, man, congrats, man. Congrats on all y'all success.
That's funny. That's
funny. It's still the longest running golf show in Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's the longest running consecutive golf show. We are been together for 16 years, Mike and I. We started a little radio station in New Braunfels, KGNB, Thursday nights, and then we just blossomed to ESPN, and due to COVID, we're now in the podcast world.
Well, there could be worse things, right?
Did I lose you?
No, you're here. You just might be on a slight delay right now.
Are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Andy, are you there?
Yep, you got me. I'm here. Let me see. I'm going to take you off and see if I can move you back on. All right, having just a little bit of sound technical issues here with Dave Roberts. Let's see. Dave, you got me.
There we go.
All right, good deal, Dave. Now, I need an update, Dave. We need an update. Last time we had you on the show, we shared your golf story, your blue-collar golf story. Now, I really want to hear on the updates on Ty. Now, I know Ty just had his first collegiate year.
Well, folks, as we're getting Andy back on, because it's his show, I just want to say thanks to everybody who watches Andy Torres and NothingisOB podcast. I don't know if anybody can hear what's going on out there, but
all right, having a little technical difficulties. You got me, Dave.
We thank everybody. So if you're in the chat and you can hear us, somebody give us a holler. Let us know what's going down.
All right, Dave, you got me.
Andy, are you there? There you go. I had you from hello. No, I'm not Kenny Chesney, baby. Let me tell you. So you're back.
I am back. You got me.
No, okay. As I was saying, we started many, many moons ago. Longest consecutive running show, award-winning. We won some awards from the South Texas PGA, and we're just blessed to spread the gospel of golf, not only of South Texas and North Texas, but around the world. So we're blessed, and I'm just thankful that I got that call this morning and said, "Hey, Dave, we need you on." It's my pleasure to help out a friend anytime, and so here I am.
Well, I was hoping to have a lot prettier guest on the show. She was just coming off her match play loss out at the women's amateur out at Chambers Bay. I was hoping to have I was hoping to have a little bit, more of a looker on the show tonight. I was hoping to have Cameron Carillon on, but she said she's going to give us some time when she gets back. She's out there still in Seattle enjoying herself, and I wanted to say a special congratulations to her. I'm super proud of everything she's done on the golf season, making the NCAA regionals, doing so well in the TGA, the Texas Golfers Association. I believe she won. I don't think she won a match play. I think she won a stroke play event, and I know she made everyone proud by making the U.S. amateur, the U.S. women's amateur, and doing so well, making the match play and losing to a freaking stud out there, a phenom, a 13-year-old phenom. And so I really wanted to say a special congratulations to Cameron Carillon. So why don't you tell us, Dave, just a little bit about the
congratulations. I mean, at that level of golf, and these juniors, man, they're totally awesome. And the products of the South Texas PGA, what we're bringing is.
Yeah, we're having just a little bit of problem with Dave. I'm going to see if I can get Dave going.
Ty had a phenomenal freshman season. Division I Alabama State, as everybody knows. They won 6 golf tournaments their first year. Ty was in the top 10 4 times and had a match play where he won 2.5 points. And one of the things, he was the kickoff leadoff guy. He won his match 9-8. He did a Tiger Woods, Stephen Ames on his opponent. And so, yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So how did he adjust well to his first year of collegiate golf?
So I think we're having technical difficulties. It's more bars and that storm, I'm telling you.
Let me see.
So can you hear me? If you can, shake your head, and I know I'm rocking. So
I can't hear you. Let me see if I can get you to hop on off and then maybe get back on here.
Are you there, Andy?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to kick Dave Roberts out here. I'm going to kick him out of the studio here. All right, see if he gets back on here. All right, guys, as a reminder, presenting sponsor of the show is FOREBROS Golf League right here, guys. Presenting sponsor, FOREBROS Golf League. Never golf alone again. Make sure you check out FOREBROS 2.0 on Facebook. All right. We got several different types of games going on at all the FOREBROS events. You can find out all the events for FOREBROS 2.0 on Facebook. All right. The Facebook group. Make sure you join the Facebook group. We will be at the Hyatt this Saturday. All right. We got a lot of different games. One of the new games and new things that we have is King of the Par 3s. Now, King of the Par 3s is a really exciting format. What happens is that everybody puts $5 into the pot, and it takes your cumulative score or your aggregate score, I'm not too sure the proper terminology, that takes your whole score for the par threes. What it does is, let's say there's 4 par threes and you get even, right? You get even, and somebody else gets a plus, or everybody else gets +1. Then that guy that's got the even or the lowest score, he will be the one to take home all the money. Now, if there's a tie across the board, if there's a tie for the lowest score, now then that money will roll over depending on what flight. For the most part, we've had A and B flights. Our last event out at beautiful Alsatian Golf Course, which is one of our supporters. Thank you to Miss Reed and her wonderful staff, especially during this drought right now. And during this time, they're able to keep that course really popping and going. And I think it's their customer service, having bottled waters, ice out there, and making such a friendly atmosphere. Having Juliana's connected to it does not hurt. Here we go. My man, Dave Roberts. Are you here? Now I can't see you. Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties here on Dave's end. So hopefully let's see if we can get that cleaned up here in just a bit. All right, let me go ahead and try to get my man back on.
Because I'm the ugly guy. Remember, Larry, let me take my glasses off. Do I look better now?
Oh, you look just right. Can you hear me, Dave? I don't know. We have a little bit of connection issues over here.
I can see you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're just.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can. We're just on a slight delay here. That's what it seems like. But that's all right. We'll get through it here. Hopefully the connection will get just a little bit better. Now, Dave, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on.
It might be all the rain that's coming in San Antonio.
I don't know if we have any.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're good. Thank you for those of y'all that are watching right here and working through the technical difficulties.
We're on a slight delay because there's a major storm going through San Antonio.
That's all right. Well, thank you, Dave. We'll get through it here. One of the big reasons I wanted to have you on is because.
Watch this, buddy. I got this. There's more bars and more places, but not right here. We can do anything once. Watch this. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm watching. All right. Are you good, Dave? All right, let's see. There you go. Dave.
How do you like that? More bars and more places, but not right here.
There you go. Hey, that is perfect, Dave. Actually, I can hear you. Are we in real time now?
Yes, we are. We're in real time because you know what? That's how we roll here. If we mess up one way, we can do it another way.
All right. You're the man, Dave. I thank you so much, man. I thank you for those of you that are watching that are still on here, Dave, one of the big reasons why I wanted to have you on right now is one of the huge issues that's going on in golf right now is the course conditions. I know being a former owner, a former GM, and having so many different roles. I know one of the roles you play right now in the Air Force is, you deal with the golf courses do kind of fall, in line with what you're responsible for in regards to recreation for the Air Force. Now, how have many courses been able to kind of keep up with this and deal with this drought that we're having?
Well, it's a crazy thing here in South Texas. What is it? 52 days in a row we had 100-degree heat. That does put a strain on our water supply, even if it's in fluent water. In the Air Force, we're very lucky with, of course, Randolph and Fort Sam and Lackland. Some of our city courses have taken hits, and I'm one of the biggest supporters of golf. So I'm always on San Antonio golfers and other websites fighting back because, everybody out there wants the Augusta, Georgia Masters at a $35 price. And folks, let me give you the news flash. It's not going to happen. Okay. It's just not going to happen. The costs have gone up dramatically, not only with the water, but chemicals and stuff like this. And so in order to play the premium golf courses, you've got to pay a premium price. And right now we're in that part where instead of we're discounting, we're seeing what we could. We're seeing this pricing. Guys are maxing it out, and they're getting the bucks for it. But back on it though, Andy, I mean, you golf in some great places. I mean, Alsatian is in great shape. Some of the other golfers, Golf Club of Texas, in great shape. Some of the other courses, because of like nematodes and other stuff, they've suffered. Then you take the heat, and when you couple it all together, it leaves a bad experience for the golfer, let's just say. And
And I think there's some shuffling too that needs to be done amongst the golf courses, and I think they're doing it. I think you have, like, I know Golf Club of Texas, they're adding like little things. It's those little amenities. I know they started to add the mango scented towels. I know Alsatian, for the longest time, I think they were the trendsetters in this as a public course for having a gallon or a container of bottled waters out there. They leave the ice out there, and it's just, you can get them on the turn, you can get it before you go. And that's just those little things that kind of separate, some courses from others, because you do hear these horror stories of, especially right now during the heat, that courses don't have water on their course. And I think not having water due to some COVID protocols are still, I'm not trying to say what's COVID and what's not COVID or this, that, and the other, but I think we need to make sure that we try to save our golfers. Because I know we had an event last week at Alsatian, and I know Ben Chambers, the director of golf operations out there, he spoke with us right before we went off. We had 64 golfers, and he said, guys, I know par threes are all cart path only, but hey, if there's a tree right next to it, drive under the shade. It's not a big deal for us. We don't need anybody dying out here or, getting lightheaded. And it's just those little things that the golf management can do to just kind of remind us that at the same, yes, we know that we're paying and we are paying customers, but they're also trying to take care of us and make sure that, we try to stay as safe as possible.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Some of the protocols that we've put in place, and I'll give you a quick study in a second, is, some of our courses hand out 2 bottles of water to all the customers, or at least a bottle of water with that, because, with the COVID and people still kind of shy and things, because that's still always going to be out there. But in 2016, Golf Digest did a report on water coolers. And folks, if you take a look at your next water cooler that you're out at the golf course, if they happen to have one, take a quick look at it, because the bacteria, some of them are broken and chipped and stuff like that. So, I wouldn't want to be drinking from it anyway. And I grew up in the area, the era that, we wait 20 seconds after we turn on the water hose. And maybe that's why I haven't got COVID yet, because I used to drink from a water hose down in Corpus when I was a kid.
Hey, the Manguera, man. It's Manguera water.
That's right, baby. That's right. And then, if I got sick, my mom, may her soul rest in peace, we just go in the house and eat menudo, because you cannot smell the stuff, but you can eat the stuff. And, if I had sniffles or anything, but anyway, back to golf. A very exciting time right now, but again, it's a safe, exciting time. The public sector is kind of 2.7% up for rounds across the board over last year. And that's with 28 states still in March closed due to cold weather. Okay.
Wow.
So now it's making a comeback. And, with the teleworking and all the other stuff that's going on, people are going out playing in that heat and 9 holes. So if they're not going to have water jugs on the course, okay, then and you can buy them at Academy for $22.95. Not that I know that personally, but it's $22.95 plus tax, because I just bought one. But give them a couple of waters. Okay, a water costs 11 cents, 10 cents, because what happens, and Andy, this is the sad part about a lot of this, is they know that going to courses that they're not going to have those refreshments available. Golf course players, they sneak the stuff on, and then that cuts the revenue of the golf course, but then in turn, it's a snowball effect. So golf course operators, take care of your people. Safety first, people always. That's my motto. I preach it daily with the Air Force golf portfolio around the world. And being an operator and owner for the last 30 plus years in the public sector, I still preach it, because I know how important it is. I've had a couple of people who have almost passed out and died on my watch, and I do not want that to happen to anybody we live to fight another day. So let's stay cool. Let's drink beverages, and of course, drink beer, hit bombs. That's my new motto. So
that's a good motto to have.
Hey,
Now,
I would be part of the Four Bros with this shirt right here. If I could get this in a collared shirt so they allow me to get on the golf course, I mean, I'd fit right in with the Four Bros.
Wait, what I'm going to tell you, maybe not a collared shirt, but you could go for a mock turtleneck.
Well, I'll see if my new sponsor, Kobe Stevens, can come out with a mock version for me so I can have this on there.
I don't think anybody's gonna think you're think you're Tiger Woods walking around with that.
Trust me, I'm not Tiger Woods in any way. I'm more like, what's that guy, a lumpy? Yeah, I'm rounder than a quarter pounder. You're not going to mistake me for no Tiger.
All right. So one of the things, though, in regards to the courses and their beverages, I know playing out at Buckhorn, they have some stupid rule, right? They have some stupid rule that you can't buy alcohol by a certain time, right? But before a certain time on Sundays, right? I guess per their county or whatever, right? But if you buy like these huge ass sausage links, right? These huge ass sausage links, you're able to get two beverages per sausage link, right? And so whenever we have an outing out there, you'll see guys come back in. They'll have like 6 these huge sausage links, the ones that you go to the gas stations out there and you see them like they're huge and they're on these huge strings and links, right? And they'll be out there and they're like, I'm like, how many beers did you have? It's like, oh, we only had like 4 beers, but we got 6 sausage links.
Well, unfortunately, Andy, that rule is not going to change. It's a very outdated rule, in my opinion. It's a Texas TABC law that on Sundays you cannot buy beer until noon. I mean, this law has been there since I was a little guy. But if you buy a food item, then you could buy alcohol after 10 o'clock. And that is actually a law but again, to me, it's outdated. There's no different drinking Saturday at 8 a.m. than drinking Sunday at 8 a.m. I'm sorry. That's just me. But who am I? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. Who are we, right?
We're just the guys who paid money to play golf.
well, you know what? And that's the thing going on with golf right now. Like, I'm really concerned. I'm really curious to see with Alamo City Golf Trail, the closing and the redesigning of Riverside. I think everybody remembers when Almost Basin was closed, how much strain it put on the rest of the golf courses here in town. And so it's going to be curious that everyone's always crying and always fighting for prime tee times, prime rates. And now, it seems like it's going to be, I think, even worse this time around as ACGT closes one of their courses.
Well, with them over at Riverside doing about 52 to 54,000 rounds a year, that's my estimation from the last time when I was in the business competing against them. They do that many rounds. I mean, it's one of those golf courses that, anybody at all skill levels will go out and play, and they play from sun up to sundown. You're correct. It will put a big strain on the Alamo City Golf Trail if you are one of the members and you want to go play at the other courses. But, this is one thing that folks have to realize out there is the problem with golf that hurt a lot of people, okay, is these owners, when everything was booming in the Tiger years and before it started to wane off a little bit before COVID, is golf course owners did not reinvest back into their golf courses. So you put 50,000 people on your golf course, okay? It's not only taking a beating on the golf carts, it's taking a beating on the golf course, it's taking a beating on the tee boxes, the greens, and stuff like this. So, what a better time, I would say, because, they're going to do it now. Give it that fall grow and then grow in the springtime, and then everybody will be excited again to come play it. And it's overdue with Riverside, just like, when we did Almost Basin. Almost Basin was born the same year I was. That's old. If I could get rebuilt, I would love to get rebuilt myself. I can't. These knees are going to go with me until I'm done. But we have to reinvest in our golf courses, and golfers need to understand the things that we do for reinvestment. Like, they're doing a total reinvestment, right? They did that with Breckenridge. They did that with almost basin. We have to aerate greens. We have to spray greens. We got to sometimes close 9 holes. Folks, that's part of keeping these golf courses in quality shape. And, golfers don't want to hear that, but that's the way it goes. We can't do these things at nighttime. We can only do them in early morning and during the day. And sometimes it affects our golfing habits. But with the Alamo City Golf Trail having 8 golf courses or facilities, including the par 3, you can go somewhere else. Just book your tee time earlier than you normally would because you already know what's going to happen.
Now, normally, I know in the event that FOREBROS is having this Saturday at the Hyatt Golf Course, they were looking at the tee sheets, and we're all freaking out because the tee times are in 5-minute increments. Now, is that common?
No.
Common? I was like, man, they're trying to fill up that damn tee sheet.
Well, first of all, that's not common. Your normal tee is about 7.5 to 8 minutes. Before COVID. Due to COVID protocols, people have went to 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Some at one point were at 15 minutes, 5 minutes. I want you to take a look at it. If you go to the United States Golf Association, and this is how we calculate how fast people will play, there's a certain amount of time to play a par 3, par 4, par 5, which ends up being if you have 18 holes, about 4 hours and 20 minutes. Okay. You do the quick math, 4 hours and 20 minutes, right? Which is over 240. That's 260 divided by 18 holes. You're averaging 13, 14 minutes to play that hole. Par 5 is a little longer. If you're out that fairway and the next guy wants to tee off at 5 o'clock, you're already backing it up. And I'm not dogging anybody. Okay. I'm not here to dog anybody, but I want you to think about it.
I will, Dave. You might not be here to dog somebody, but I will. Don't worry.
Okay. You dog them. I'm just going to give you the scenario and let you rock with it. Okay. Think about this. Dave Roberts just paid $115 to play the Hyatt Hill Country. And we'll go with them since you mentioned them. Okay. And all of a sudden, I'm about the 15th tee time off. Think of the backlog at 5 minutes off the number 1 hole there, whether you're playing the lakes, the creeks, none of them are gimme holes to tee off on. All 3 sides have, the number 1 hole can be played several ways. All right. You snowball that by the time I get my 8:30 tee time, I guarantee you I'm already 25 minutes behind. Now, as a consumer paying money, and I can spend my money anywhere, why would I want to go back? Okay, you filled up your coffers that day. I'm kind of dogging them now. You filled your coffers up that day. See what you did? You trapped me, Andy. Because you know I'm going to preach this. So you filled your coffers up that day, but what about the bad press and never coming back after that?
Some courses aren't worried about that, though. Some really aren't. And you know that, Dave, but at the same time, you as being a former owner, a former GM, you played it a little bit differently as opposed to, some other courses that are not locally owned. They're owned by bigger corporations and they answer to a higher power. And that's tough. That's tough. And we're surprised. I know my guys and I were talking about 5 increments, and some guys are like, hell yeah, because they want to go, they want to play quick, they want to play fast, and I'm like, man, I'm an old guy. Sometimes I have to be a little bit more methodical in regards to my swing.
Well, it's also about, again, like I said, the time. 12, 13 minutes to play a par 4 or a par 3, right around there. Okay. You don't want to be rushed. And the last thing you don't want is someone to hit into you because they're antsy. So how many times, Andy, with you and the rest of the guys that y'all have played and you're on a par 5 and that guy happens to hit again, my greatest shot I ever hit, and he hits to you on a par 5 and 2 because the guy's antsy. My question is, where are you going? It's 16:04 at 5 o'clock traffic, buddy. You're not going anywhere, okay? That's just the way it is. And so I think it does more harm in the long run to the golf course. Yeah, you're getting your money and you're under scrutiny, but you know what? I'm a golf pro that would like the residual income, not just the now income. I want my players to come back because, as you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the water, this is all about golf experience, okay? And this golf experience starts in the parking lot, okay, when you first get there, all the way till the time you get back in your vehicle and leave. And so you can have the greatest customer service in the world. That guy could be smiling, or you could have that gorgeous chick that you want, looking good, right? But what are you going to remember more? The good-looking beverage cart girl, which probably is true because I hear beers and bombs, or are you going to talk about how it took me 5.5 hours to play that golf course and I swear I'll never come back?
I think a lot of times you know what, hey, you always remember a good cart girl, right? Because good cart girls are hard to find nowadays. They just really are. Some might be good looking and not know how to make a Bloody Mary, and some might know how to make a Bloody Mary and not be to your liking, right? But you know what? At the same time, I'll take that girl that knows that might not be my type, but that can make a hell of a good Bloody Mary.
Well, you know where I used to get my cart girls? All right, here you go. Like I told you.
Oh, sorry. Beverage girl.
Cart. Cart girl, however you want to say it. You know where I got mine? Hooters cast-offs. The girls that didn't get hired at Hooters, damn. I hired them to be the Bev Cart girl.
Man, and now we wonder why you're no longer an owner of a course, right?
No, that's a whole different reason. But I'll tell you one thing, my beverage sales went up because not only were they good looking, but they knew what they were doing.
In Austin, they get them from Sugars.
See?
The Sugars cast-offs.
That's right. If they're not hired at Hooters or not getting enough hours, I'll be right there while I'm eating at Hooters and talking to you. Get enough hours? See, because
oh, that's good, though. That's good. We lost Dave there for a little bit.
Hey, do you get enough hours? Blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And they're like, no, hey, look, here's my number. Here's my card. Why don't you give me a call? How would you like to make a couple $100 on the weekend? I sound like the Live Tour. Hey, how would you like to make a couple of bucks? And they're like, yeah. You like driving a bev cart around? Okay. Can you make these 3 drinks right here? Can you make a screwdriver? Can you make a Bloody Mary? And can you make a mimosa for the ladies? Yes. Good. Come see me. You're hired. By the way, just wear some nice shorts and a tank top, and the guys will love you.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I met, like, I don't know if you've seen on TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, whatever, right? Well, I met like the famous beverage cart girl. Like there's a famous beverage cart girl out there, and she works at, just so happens, I didn't plan it. I played golf in Las Vegas. I played golf at a course called Chimera there in Las Vegas. And it just so happened I saw her. I mean, because, my daughter, they do watch all the TikToks. And yes, I mean, I'm on TikTok for the golf stuff, right? And I saw her and I was like, it looked a heck of a lot like her because I think her name is Sugar Honey Girl or something like that, right? But man, she is gorgeous, like just extremely, like just a doll, right? And so I see her and I'm like, oh man, I guess, hey, we're in Vegas, blonde hair, blue eyes, very nice skin. I mean, they grow on trees out there, right? And so I'm playing on the course, and then as I'm playing, I think it was the 4th hole. I see the cart girl drives up, and one of the things that she's known for is having like a themed golf cart, right, for the day, or her beverage cart is themed for that day. And she was wearing like some like disco, I guess kind of like Laugh-In. Laugh-In was one of my favorite shows growing up to watch on Nick at Night, right? I guess I don't know. Help me out, Dave. Date yourself for me. Let's see.
I know Ruth Buzzy and all the rest of them. Dick and Roland Martin. Hey, yeah, Laugh-In. I'm there, buddy. Date. Come on, man. I'm as old as almost Basin Golf Course. Come on. I'm old.
And so I see her and I said, hey, you're the girl, right? And she goes, yes, I'm the girl. And she was just like the sweetest, the coolest thing. But the biggest thing is that she's always on there on TikTok talking about guys not tipping her, right? And so I said, you know what? I'm only buying a Gatorade and a cup of ice, but I'm going to tip her $5 because I don't want her to talk shit about me,
That's the way it is. And most of those girls work mostly off tips. But my best bev cart gal, her name was actually Candy, and she got married to a guy named James Barr. So her name was Candy Barr. And so it was kind of fun to
You're
play
full
with
of
that.
it. You're full of it. I know your tricks.
No. Barr. Her is Candy Barr. It was Candace, but we called her Candy. And so she had fun with it. And, when we had the GPS, we would go, hey guys, the bev cart's coming. Here comes Candy Barr. And people would love it. I mean, and it's just how you promote it and stuff like that. But she was the most efficient. But I've had some great bev cart gals. Amber, Weisner, you just name them. I mean, it's a vital, important piece of the operation to have a nice looking. Don't want to say smoking hot, but okay, I did. Beverage cart girl who has a brain, who has a brain. How's that?
Okay, let me ask you: would guys be put off if there was a male beverage cart person?
Well, I would say it depends because, see, I used to host the Sugars golf tournament and some of the other golf tournaments.
And it was at Golf Club of Texas, right? For the longest time.
Well, yeah, that was at the Golf Club of Texas.
Hey,
I drove the
I've heard some
around.
stories, dude. I've heard some stories, okay?
They're all true.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know they're all true.
Especially the bus with the pole in it. But I drove the Bev cart one time because we couldn't allow any of our lady staff on because of the golf tournament that was being held. And this is way before all the houses and everything were built out there. I made about $150. I didn't make that much. But the next year, we allowed one of their ladies to be the Bev cart. And she made a killing. So, yeah, guy Bev carts, that's just, no.
Hey, somebody could be the trends. Somebody could be the trendsetter.
Now that might work on a ladies' day golf tournament where you have all ladies, and then you got some,
Damn, you know what? Hey, that's true right there. Dang, that's true.
See, but in my case, because you'd have to have a guy that looks like a Chippendale. Right now, I'm looking like a Chunkendale, and the ladies aren't going to go for the Chunkendale. Hey,
that's all right. They like muffins just like everybody else.
It'd be the Great Lebowski is what it would be, buddy. Let me tell you.
All right, because this is running on several formats, right? I got on several different pages. I got Casey Carnes said, and this is a great one. Casey Carnes is a good buddy of ours. He said, "Can't train them to be good looking. You can always give them a calculator."
That is right. Yeah. Casey is a partner of mine. He worked with me for many years. We've worked together in the business. We went through a slew of them. Some, they just needed that calculator, so to speak. But they were drop dead gorgeous, and it is what it is. But Casey knows where I'm coming from, and he knows who I'm talking about too. So yeah.
Well, one time we played in a tournament out at Sonterra, and they had like a cart grandmother, and you know what? All the older guys, they loved her. Oh, man, they loved her to death. But I'm over here freaking out. And I say this was about like 5 years ago. We were playing out there for a golf fellowship event. And I was just like, they have a cart grandmother, and I'm just like, man. But all the guys were so excited when, all the older guys were so excited when she would drive up, to our foursome.
Well, that happens. We've been at a couple of places around Texas where they had older ladies. That 40s, 50s, cougars. And then let's just go with their cougars. But you got to be more careful of a cougar because a cougar is a predatory thing that chases younger animals. So,
that's true. That's true.
But, hey, the older ones are just as good as the younger ones, and they can count. And you can trust them with your money.
That's true. Or you can or you can trust them with their money, or you trust that you know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and they know how to say no to all the guys that hit on them, but still be a little provocative, so to speak. That'd be a good word, a little provocative.
All right. So in regards to some of those golf tournaments that you held at Golf Club of Texas, that they were the sugar golf tournaments, they are true. I don't know the username, but he played in a bunch of them in Austin.
Yes, they are true. They are true from the bus with a pole in it to at the Golf Club of Texas. Y'all know it as hole. Let's see, because everything's backwards. I used to know it as 4, so that'd be 13. Has the bathrooms. That was our DJ and food area, and that was the breaking point of when you come in from that part. You have to be fully clothed when you came in. Let's just put it that way.
Ooh. Hey, you're getting me hot. You're getting me hot over here.
All right, turn on the AC, mijo.
All right, okay. My buddy Scott Williams. Scott Williams. I'm not. You might know him because he was in the media. He was in golf media. Scott Williams. He's an older gentleman, and it was pretty neat. When I was covering covering the Valero Texas Open this past year, man, he just walked in the media center like nothing. And I'm just like, man, this guy must know people because he had no badge, no credentials, and he's just walking around, shaking hands, kissing babies. Everybody knew him, and he told me that he was in the media industry for some 20 years.
And I do know of him. Great guy. It's fun. Media is fun because we're a special breed, and now you're part of our brotherhood. We're a bunch of crazy people.
That's for damn sure.
And we get away with some things that the normal people can't get away with. I've been blessed to be in the media, part of not only our show, but, in my previous life, I also had radio shows and stuff like that. But being part of ESPN and, Valero Texas Open and, the Houston Open and going to the Masters, the normal people in the world, normal guys and gals out there, they die for it. And we've got that backstage pass, and I was able to bring, like Ty behind the scenes to talk to his hero, Rory McIlroy, and hang out. And now they're friends on like Twitter and Instagram and all those, FaceTime things like that. So, but it's fun to be in the media because we get behind the ropes and see a lot of things that people don't see. They see the show. We see, it's kind of like, as I was growing up, we had a place in Corpus, greatest food on earth, which is to be the PGA Tour, but you did not want to go behind the kitchen door. There was no blue plate special, right? But that food was good. And that's the way a lot of the PGA Tour, if people would understand what it took to put on a PGA Tour event or even a Corn Ferry tournament, it would blow their mind. And you've seen behind the scenes because you've been in the media tent and you've seen some of the things that go on. Hosting a tour event is a crazy week of the event, but that thing leads up 6 to 8 months before it even gets on the ground.
Like I did some small coverage this past week for the APGA, and it's for mostly African Americans and minority golfers this past week. And you know what? They were very cordial with me, very inviting. I'm super thankful to Ken, who is the guy who runs it. To Cole, who was one of the founders, or I think I might have mixed those names up. Rihanna, the social media director. Everybody at the APGA, man, they were awesome. And then the winner, Kamayu Johnson, he gave me some time afterwards, and it was really neat to see that, man, these guys, like, gosh, they can ball, they can play, and you know what? Nobody was out there. I think the most people I saw in one hole before the last round there was like 5 people watching a local pro, which is Michael Bradham, who works at Olympia Hills, who's a Blackbird ambassador, great dude. He's a big boy, a big man, but he's a big teddy bear, super nice guy, and played out there from the Converse Judson area. And it was sad. It was kind of sad in a way too, because you know what? They just have a lack of opportunities. And I know you know this, especially being a blue collar golfer yourself, working all the the South Texas PGA events, so Ty can get his shot to play for free, and everybody thinking, hey, you and your family were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And you know what? I'm so thankful, and I'm sure you understand that how you work to make sure your son got those opportunities that you didn't get. And it's like there's so many good golfers everywhere that just need a shot, that just need a chance.
And I would agree with you. I currently I'm starting my 14th or 15th year with South Texas PGA junior golf. Even though Ty's off and gone, I still give back. I believe in it. But what I would do is work, and the money that I made would pay for his entry fees, because I wanted to show that a blue collar kid with his talent could make it. And, our goals were met. I mean, come on, 128 junior wins, junior PGA player of the year, yada, 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 Division I scholarship. So we're blessed in that point. But you're right about the APGA. Matter of fact, did you know that a former winner was Tony Finau?
Wow.
Yes. They all got to start somewhere cutting their teeth. There are only a few that can go, that get out of college and they're that instant success. A lot of them grind and grind and grind. I mean, I remember when I was in the military, And I was closing in because that's what I was going to do for a living. And I played in many tour events. And, I played with the John Daly's of the world. I played with John Daly. I played with Andy Dillard, who gave Tom Kite a fight in the '88 U.S. Open. But they were cutting their teeth on the same little mini tour things that I was trying out. And there's that fine line that people don't realize. But, Andy, one of these things is all these guys got heart and they got dedication. There's a guy that was talking the other day that, there's many times that he slept in his car, right, and ate the 99-cent meal. And so he would have enough money to pay entry fees and get into the next stop. And, I remember playing the mini tours. We would play 4 people, right, and would go in a car, share the expenses. The 2 best scorers got the bed. The other 2 had to sleep on the floor. And I'm telling you, all you can eat buffets were my friends. And I guarantee you, those muffins do fit in your pockets when nobody is looking because you're a starving pro.
No, and I agree with you because I saw it. I was made privilege of it. And you know what? I always compare my golf game or some things that, everybody likes a well-cooked sausage or a well-cooked steak, right? Everybody likes the well-cooked burger. You know what? They don't want to see how it's prepared. They don't want to see how it's made. You know what? Nobody wants this. They want to see the end product, the end result, right? That's what a lot of us as consumers want to see. They want to see the end result, right? Well, shoot, man, I was thankful for these guys because they showed me the thrills of victory and of defeat. Because Kemu Johnson was up by 1, and there was 2 guys tied going into 18 at the TPC San Antonio at the course. That 18th hole, that makes or breaks a lot of scores, and,
yes,
and you know that. And it was interesting to see that the 2 gentlemen, I think one's name was Marcus. I can't remember his last name. The other guy's name was Daniel Augustus, DA, and they were at -6. And you could tell, like, man, they both had, I think, like 12 footers for bird, and they both barely missed them. And one of the gentlemen, Marcus, I mean, he took it so hard. He took it so hard. I mean, he was just distraught. He was walking around. I mean, guys were consoling him, and it was I mean, I'm not going to say like I'm happy he lost, but you know what? As a coach, as a teacher, as a father, I like to see, when there is defeat, when there is failure, because I'm curious to see, that what they do, because you have to know the sour before you know the sweet. And then Kemu talking about his victory, that he took advantage of what the APGA had to offer in regards to, he had some depression, he had some mental health issues, and they were able to provide him with the proper counseling, or the proper, the proper I think they helped him with the psychiatrist and things of that nature to get him playing, but not only playing better, but feeling better and dealing with, he was a first-time father, not growing up without a father, just recently had a kid and struggling, to be a good father when he didn't know what a good one looked like. And it was beautiful to see. But in regards to what you're saying about the buffets and stuff, they had a open bar, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it's either Ken or Cole, the gentleman who's running the APGA, and he tells the guys, "All right, guys, you got 1 more hour. You got 1 more hour of drinks." Man, you should see him. I mean, these guys are just slamming them down. Slamming them down because they don't know where maybe that next enjoyable moment on somebody else's dime is going to come from.
You're right. And one thing that people don't realize is those guys who are starting out, the worst thing I ever had to do was, make that phone call to the guy who sponsored me and helped me put my entry fee in. And I didn't make enough money to cover the cost of that week. And out there in the mini tours, that happens a lot. When the Ben Hogan tour first came out, okay, if you made the cut, you made $475, which is more or less your entry fee. First place was $20,000. Okay. And this is back in 1989, 1990, when the big Hogan, and, on the PGA Tour the other way, Tom Kite was the first guy to make $1 million and be the money leader. So back then, money was really tight. Well, take a look at today with all the prices, with inflation and stuff like that. And these guys are traveling. You know what? There's a lot more pressure than what people realize. It's not just about missing that putt, but it's also the after effects. With your family, you don't want your family to think you're a failure. You don't want your sponsors who are digging out the cash. I'll tell you one thing, folks. I can golf the ball, and I used to golf the ball very, very well when I was a younger guy. But you know what? I was my sponsor's best tax deduction. Let me tell you, I was his best tax deduction.
You're at the donation station, huh?
You bet, baby. So, I mean, it's really real, and I thank God for that tour right there. The college ranks are starting to get with the PGA Tour and stuff like that. Ty has been part of the PGA Works is for minority golfers as well, because he's part of that. He has some of that in him as well. And now that they've changed the way of, like when I was growing up, qualifying school, you're paying $5,000 to go through stages and hopefully get in the top 50. Now things are different, and they're now cultivating some of the college golfers and preparing them to be pros. And I mean, you take a look at some of the programs. When I went and I'll give Ty's in Division I, but he's in the second level. He's not the Power 5. Okay, but they're leaving in a couple of weeks to go play where the President's Cup play. They're going to do a pro-am with the guys from the President's Cup. They're playing quality things. But Ty has a nutritionist. Okay, they have a physical therapy guy. They have a tutor. They have all this, and this is not the top UT or Baylor or anybody like this. This is the second level. So you can only imagine what these guys got at UT and Baylor and some of the other golf schools that are very successful, Oklahoma State. But the mental game is the biggest part. And, that's what separates a lot of great players from the average guy. There's a lot of hometown heroes that can hit that ball, but if you don't have the mental state, and I take and I know he's watching, but Casey Carnes, for example, Casey Carnes had the fortitude and the mental, and he's what separates a lot of great golfers from what his level is, because Casey has a steel trap mind. Okay. And he can get out there and he can focus and he can, and he can perform under the pressure. And that's why he's been so successful lately. And he's been throughout his whole career. Don't get me wrong, but lately it's just been spotlighted so much. And for me, being one of his buddies, I'm proud when I see all the accomplishments, and I'm the first guy to text him when I find out something, but he has that mental fortitude. And when Casey gets 50, I'm eager to see if he's going to actually go and try and play on the Champions Tour, because I think Casey can not only make it on the Champions Tour, but I think he can be very successful and win golf tournaments because of his mental fortitude.
I agree with you. I mean, Casey's a stud. I mean, would you say? I mean, you know this area for golf so well, and I know there's the Aaron Flores, there's the Will Griffins. There's Bart Wilson. I mean, there's Corey Breen. Like. Would you say that Casey is just like in that upper echelon of the city's best amateurs at this moment right now?
Oh, I would agree. I would agree. I've watched Casey play for many years. We've played so many rounds of golf together. I think if he is not the best amateur in our area, he's in the top 2. And that's not a personal profession. That's a professional opinion. This guy can golf the ball, folks. I watched this cat shoot 62 with an out of bounds. Okay. The dude can golf the ball. He's got the mental fortitude. We all can swing the club. I can still hit it 270, 280 out there with my popcorn swing. I can still get it on the greens. But you know what? I don't play tournament golf anymore. I'm your best scramble partner. Okay. Trust me, I'm your best scramble partner, because, I want to have a couple of beers. My competing days are over, but I did promise my son that I would give one shot at the U.S. Senior Open. And I think it might be this year, because I turned 59 Saturday. I don't have any more golf competitive years left, but I'm going to give it one shot. I've already started weight training, losing weight. As soon as my injury from falling down the cliff heals, I'll be out hitting balls.
but a lot of those falls you take them freely, though. I see you. I see your videos from with your buddies that y'all take in New Mexico. All right, you do a lot of falls and rolls on your own. Okay. So a lot of those that you take, Dave, those are on your own, man. That's what you. I see you and your crazy guys. Now, as we get into some of this talk in regards to the mental game, I had one event. I had a golf enlightenment, all right, a golf revolution, and I met this instructor, and I'm going to tell you about this instructor I met, and maybe you know her. She is very unconventional, and it seems like from what I hear from everybody, she's burned a lot of bridges. Elizabeth I think it's Buckhalter. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Like my buddy Crumb, he posts something on San Antonio golfers, right? And they look like they're staged photos, right? And he even calls me and he says, "Hey man, I want you to come out and play around the golf with my instructor and I." And I said, he's a good buddy of mine. He's about to move back to Michigan. So I said, you know what? I better try to get around in with him. Excuse me. And he goes, we'll play wherever you want to play in. I said, oh, well, let's play at Alice Station. He goes, oh, okay, perfect. And I meet this lady and you know what? Already, like, she kind of looked me up and down, and I'm just like, I ain't much to look at. You know, I ain't much to look at. And you know what there is to look at, it ain't much either. Right. And so she takes my clubs. Like, she takes my clubs and she does this. Right? She takes my clubs and does that. And she goes, that looks like the work of Ben Carricker. And I'm just like, yes, ma'am, it is. And she goes, yeah, that's what I thought, and walks away. And I'm just like, who the hell is this lady? Well, I'm going to tell you, her style is not like anybody else's, but she was really mad at me. Like, I think after the 6th hole, because I was being my normal smart ass self, and
I love it.
I could tell she was trying to like dominate me or like break me. And I said, look, there's only one woman I answer to, and you know what? She has a hard time reeling me in, and that's my wife, right? And so she goes, after 6 holes, she goes, look, you might be a good golfer, but you got some holes in your game. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. She goes, you're not going to argue with me? You're not going to give me a rebuttal? And I said, no, ma'am, you're right. I do have a lot of holes in my game. And she goes, if you give me the next 3 holes, if you do everything I tell you to do, have an open mind, I guarantee you're going to be a better golfer. And I'm like, I said, I'm not going to guarantee I can do everything you ask me to do, but I can do one thing, is I can be open-minded and I can try my best. I'm going to tell you this much. She had me drinking the freaking Kool-Aid, dude. She had me drinking the Kool-Aid at the end of the 3 holes. And I don't know if it's just if she waved a magic wand over my ass. You know what? If she told me to eat a bag of rocks, I would freaking eat them all up in one gulp. I don't know if you're there, Dave, but man, like, gosh, she was just amazing. She was amazing. She was amazing. Dave, you there?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had a big old thunder boomer at the house. Sorry.
I need some more of that here.
Floresville.
I need some more of that here.
That was so loud. That was so loud. Yeah, man, it was gigantic. So I apologize for that. But you were drinking the Kool-Aid, and how did your game end up?
Dude, amazed. Like, I had a golf revolution, a golf, what is it? Epiphany, an enlightenment. Like I'm telling you, man, she was just I can't believe it. She was freaking amazing. Very unconventional, like just very unconventional, right? Like she almost made me feel like dirty about myself afterwards. But you know what? Like, I kind of liked it too. And I mean, man,
you're so submissive. You're so submissive.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you, you know what? I let her bring that whip out and dominate me a little bit. I did, and you know what? I liked it.
See, and when I teach, and I only do it on a very limited basis now, I'm kind of in that retiring mode of teaching. I'm actually writing a book and making a video. It's called Golf Uncomplicated: 4 Steps to Success. Because there's only 4 things in golf, and no matter what you do, there's only 4. And so I'll give you excerpts of it. And the next time we get out and play, I'll show you this. And you're going to go, damn, that was easy. Right. Because the average golfer can't go in and take care of all these things, and we won't talk angles. We won't talk any of this stuff like this. I'm going to show you 4 things that you can remember. And it's what the tour players do. Okay?
That's what she did. That's what she did. That's what she did.
And that's all you do. And I will, and that's how I teach. And, I did it with Tim Duncan and everybody else. And what I do is I say, hey, look, here's the deal. If I can't help you hit the ball better within 10 balls, I won't charge you.
Dang, dude, you must have been there with us. That's the same. You must have been there.
She must have heard my speech before.
Hey, it must be an old Dave Roberts trick, an old Dave Roberts tale.
I've used it for 30 plus years. I learned it from the best, Orville Moody. So if you can't hit you got to listen, but if you can't hit the ball straight and good within the 10th shot, I won't charge you. And I've never walked away without money.
I believe you. You know what?
I don't care how bad you are. If you listen, I can do it.
I believe it. But that's why you have the name in the game of golf that you do. And I'm just gonna tell you, like, it was funny, right? It was funny because some guy was talking shit about her on San Antonio Golfers, right? And she was just was talking crap about her in regards to some course and that she's kicked off a course and this, that, and the other, right? And this guy's name is Wild Bill, right? His name is Wild Bill. And you can tell it's like one of those fake or profiles or something like that, right? It's like an alias profile, right? And and my buddy's telling me about it, said, hey, that guy Wild Bill said something about my instructor and called her a crook or she's not a good instructor or something of that nature, right? And I didn't really look at the comments because it had nothing to do with me. So I was like, I really didn't care about the comments. Well, I go to the APGA event, right? On it's not, I think it's Monday, Tuesday, on Tuesday or whatever the first day is. And I'm following Michael Bradham, because he teaches out at Olympia. Some guy comes up to me and he goes, hey man, hey, I love your podcast. And I'm just like, oh, hey, you're the second fan I have. I have 2 fans now, right? And he introduces himself to me and I said, oh, hey man, how's it going? I thank you so much. He goes, well, this is my name. He tells me his name and he goes, but I go by the name of Wild Bill on San Antonio Golfers.
Oh,
and I'm just like this. Dang, I'm like, oh, I said, you're Wild Bill. And he goes, yes, I'm him. I'm like, oh man. I said, dude, I played with that girl, Elizabeth, you were saying stuff to the other day. And oh man, and he goes on telling me some horror stories, but you know what, very unconventional. And you know what, Dave, that was, like I said, I felt like some of the stuff you just told us right now, that you were in the room when she gave me the talk, and I'm going to tell you, I played well. Well, you know what happened the next day? I shit the damn bed the next day.
Right. Because that usually happens. That is called I hate to say Edwin Watts effect, but that's the Edwin Watts effect. How many times you walked into Edwin Watts and you hit that driver in that cage and you're hitting it and then you buy it and then you go there and you just can't hit the damn thing anymore. See, that's the effect, right? And so, yeah, you had the morning after pill is what it was, and it just wasn't good for you. So, but here's the deal with all this, okay? What people have to realize out there, and I know you got a lot of listeners because I watch your show. As soon as my show's over, I tune into you, and I do because I hit it, and folks, you're looking for an instructor. You have to feel good about your instructor because they're, even though you can only swing a golf club back and swing it forward, they're, as you say, unconventional. There is no perfect swing. Tiger Woods doesn't have a perfect swing. Sam Snead and Ben Hogan have about most of the perfect as ever. Steve Elkington. But if you take a look at the Jim Furyk's, the Lee Trevino's, the Miller Barbers, which is Mr. X, Taco Texas, just passed away recently, all those guys, the only thing that was in common is from belt buckle to belt buckle. how they got it back and how they got it through is totally different for so many people. People saw it off. Some look like the PGA Tour logo. But the main thing is you have to feel comfortable with your instructor. And if you felt comfortable being, submission, and, I'm not going to say S&M or M&Ms or O&Ms or whatever, but if it made you feel good, then that's what you need. Where I have students who have had other instructors who they felt that they were being demeaned. And then I come in wearing a pair of shorts, wearing a golf shirt, and I talk to them on their level, right? And then there's people who like that, that all business, talking angles, elbow, don't fly. We're at 13 degrees. We're at this, But let me ask you a question. When you're out on that golf course, are you thinking about the 13-degree ball flight? Are you thinking about a 45-degree angle? What are you thinking about? Because you're thinking, you don't need to think, right? That's all in practice. It's grip, stance, alignment, and the ball position. Let's hit the ball. Let's move on. Golf is played to get it in the hole as many strokes that it takes. Don't overthink it. Golf is the only sport, Andy, where less is more. Less effort produces more results, less score, and less brain. They all produce a better golfer. Your best round, Andy, I guarantee you really weren't thinking, man. You were in the zone. You picked up that club from Ben Character, which is the best club maker in San Antonio, folks.
Oh, hell yeah, he is.
And you picked up that 7-iron. You said, you know what? I'm 152 out. This 7-iron's it, buddy. And you hit it up there. Did you think about what you did? No. That's why. How many times? And I'll ask you this, okay? Because we're like in a great conversation, okay? How many times have you hit a ball that just stunk, right? And then you dropped another ball. You just got up there. You didn't think about anything. You hit it again. You knock it on the green next to the hole because you didn't think.
Man,
less is more.
Damn.
I drink beer and hit bombs.
I'm telling you, I just drink ultras and lay up. I need that. That's the shirt I'm gonna go with. I drink ultras.
I'm gonna see if I can get you a shirt that says that. Even if my wife makes shirts, I'll probably see if I can get what size you wear, so I know. Is it
I wear large, but it's
large.
But I have to stretch it out a little bit. I got to put my hands in there. Okay. All right. Hey, what are you trying to say?
You're not grande. You're chiquito. You're a little guy, man.
Hey, thank you, bro. Thank you. The camera adds 15 pounds. You know that.
My God, then I must look like, oh my God, John Candy right now. Oh
hey, what is it? Ed Malinsky? Was it a Polka King of the West?
Yes, that's right. Of the West. That's right. But you know what? Back to your instructor stuff. It's whatever works for you and you feel comfortable. That is the whole thing. And the one goal is when you go to your instructor, don't go in there with all that information from the launch monitor that you got at one of your local areas. Let the teacher be the teacher. I never went into math class talking the square root of 4. Never going to do any of that. I let the teacher teach me, and that's where we have a disconnect with all of our golfers. They come in with all this high-tech stuff because they've got launch monitors, and they got this thing at the house, and they're doing this, and they're talking about spin rates and smash factors and all this. How about just hit the ball? Just hit the ball. Who cares about that?
Well, you know what? Some people, the numbers, you know what? Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
Men don't lie. They exaggerate. Let's get that straight. Only women lie.
Okay. So right here. And you know what, man, I'm glad Casey said this. All right. I'm glad Casey said this. He said, Casey Karn says, who's an instructor for Mach 3. You show up to Mach 3, no more laying up. Okay. So, Dave, do you have time? I don't want to. I know it's past your bedtime. I know you had your Luann platter at 4 p.m. Dinner time. I know it's past bedtime. Do you have time? I just want to make sure because we're over an hour. I just want to make sure. I know you're a company guy.
I am fine. Only
go an hour. Okay,
I am fine.
All right.
Okay. Let me go put some STP in my Geritol and I'll be fine. Okay, is that going to make it?
Put a pot of coffee. Put a pot of coffee.
Dude, I'm partying like a rock star tonight. Oh, by the way, you got to see this. This is swing lube, baby. Swing fluid. That's what I drink.
Hey, I like that better. Swing lube. Swing lube. Okay. All right. So because being a teacher, right? Being a teacher and a coach, for the most part, I'm off for the summers, right? And so one of my goals was to get out to Mach 3 and Mike and Jeff Young and Casey Carnes and Michael Freeman get out to their class, right? Well, Casey had just came back and I was congratulating him on his win or his, qualifying right for the Mid-Am. And I'm like, hey, Casey, when's the next class? And he sends me the sign up link, right? And so I sign up to go, and I'm doing, I don't know what happened, but I was doing lifts, right? I was doing lifts throughout the summer. Oh man, I'm getting this story, and Dave comes off right now. Come on, Dave. I'm just getting into the groove, man. I'm just finding the groove after all these technical difficulties, and now you're gone. Hopefully Dave will come back. All right, right here. Okay, Eddie's back. Another stream, and Dave's back.
I'm back.
Dave. All right, he's back.
So
right.
you're getting ready to go to Mach 3.
Okay, I'm getting ready. I signed up for Mach 3, and one thing that my wife and I have done in the summer, and it's just because, you know what, hey, we're here a lot of times, we started doing lifts, right? We started doing lifts or Ubers, right? We started doing driving Uber. And so what happened is that I start doing all these lifts, right? And I do about 11 lifts, and I come home really late at 2 a.m. And then I get a text that morning. Casey Carnes is like, you're not getting any faster if you don't come to class. And I was like, oh, shit, man. I totally, I overslept the Mach 3 class. And you know what? He tells me that. He goes, you're not getting any faster if you skip class. And I'm just like.
You know what? And Casey and Mike Romanowski, Jeff Young, all friends of mine, they're hitting it on the head. And Sarah, you know, who's been their model for it, David Ogren and all them. Think about this for a second, Andy. Okay, the evolution of golf for a long time. Okay, we've done everything we can to the ball. The ball is hottest that it's ever been. We've done everything to the driver. We're thinnest space, 0.810, right? That is very thin. It gives the trampoline effect. The only things that we have not done is worked on ourselves. When I was on the mini tours and a fledgling golf professional, we would go to the bar afterwards and come to the tee box the next day looking like Cooter Brown. And if you want to see what it is, go rent the movie Dead Solid Perfect. That's perfect the way the tour used to be. Now these guys got bananas, nuts. They go to the fitness trailer before, they go to the fitness trailer after, because they're realizing, you know what? We can only go so far with equipment. We've got to take care of ourselves and get stronger this way. And I'm not going to say flat belly, because you saw my post. My belly is flat. The L is just silent. Okay.
I saw that. Hey, it took me a while to figure out. I'm like, what? And I'm like, but I get it.
The only way we can get stronger now in golf and exceed the limits that we had before is training like Mach 3, having personal trainers, golf specific training. And Mach 3, even though I have not been, okay, and but I watch it, I see it. I see the progress that Sarah and Casey and Jeff and some of the new beginners who have went through there. And I know Mike's doing a great job and Jeff Young's doing a great job. And I urge everybody to give it a try. Now, you might be sore afterwards, and I'll guarantee you will be. But guess what? It's training the golf-specific muscles. And that's what it's all about right there.
Well, I tell you, I know I did it a couple years back, and I did my swing test, and I would go in a class, and Sarah would teach the class here and there. And that was when my schedule is normally in the off season, because once football's already here, like really my golf season is practically over. Right. And I drink the Kool-Aid. Like I just, you know how life just kind of happens sometimes. And, I'm a true believer in them. I'm a true believer that I've seen guys like, an older gentleman, Joey Gonzalez, go up on his miles per hour on his swing speed all the time. Like, They have really, with their numbers, I think they've kind of broken some of the old theories, or some of the old adage that as you get older, you can't get better, you can't get faster, you can't be stronger. And I think with their classes, like they prove that theory, or those ideas, or those thoughts, they prove them wrong, right? Those notions, they prove them wrong. And that, they get these older people, younger people to get up, in swing speed, by end of a class. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think the class was very long, and I don't think we did anything hard that I couldn't do or that I struggled with, but I was freaking gassed. I was gassed, like core wise. I was just exhausted. And that's not because I lifted like 100-pound, dumbbells or anything. Like all the little, it was a lot of core based, hip based, swing, rotation, swinging through and using a lot of different implements that you're not too used to using. And I mean, I was just gassed. I had like these older men around me that I thought I was in better shape with. They're laughing and joking. And I'm over there in the corner freaking dogging and dying, feeling like I just drank all night, the night before.
See, and that's because you're using muscles that you don't normally use. That's like people who go to swim training. You use every muscle in swim training, but if you casually swim, you're really not. But go train and you're going to wake up sore. And it's the same way in golf. You're now using golf-specific exercises to train those muscles where they're not casually being used, and that's what's producing the speed. The only way now I can hit it farther due to my back injuries and my knee injuries and all the other stuff is I just move up the tees. Okay, that's what I do.
Hey, proven theory, right? It's like I can get those numbers up. I can get you closer to the hole, guaranteed.
I can hit it to the 100-yard marker. Watch me play from the golds, baby.
Right here, my good buddy Chris Espinosa. He's one of David O's guys out there at David Ogren Academy. Mach 3 has helped me perform better, plus helped me get 8 miles per hour clubhead speed faster. Great dude, Chris Espinosa. I always catch him out there when I'm at Landa, and man, he's doing some great stuff. He was running the Operation 36 the other day for David O's Academy, and man, he always plays. He just recently played in the GSA. Great dude, plays on the ACGT Tour. One of the great guys out there for representing David O's and representing New Braunfels golf.
Yes, and backstory on him. He was Ty's teammate at Canyon High School. Go Canyon High School. Yes.
The golf world is a small world. It's a small
very small world. And Chris and his dad Joe, they're wonderful people, and his mom, beautiful people. Love them to death. I love Chris, having conversations with him, played golf with them. He's a great young talent, a lot of talent. And with Chris, I think he's just now, because he was good, okay, and he is good, but I think he's now tapping into how much talent he actually has. And I followed him, and I just think he's as Casey becomes an old man, Chris is going to be like moving into that spot right there.
Oh, yes. Great dude. Great ambassador for golf and great example for all the young golfers out there. And as I mentioned, Landa, that's one place that, dude, you can't even tell they're having drought problems. But I think, and you tell me this, and this is one thing I wrote down that I wanted to make sure and hit you and ask you about, because I know you're good buddies with Chad, and I know you're very familiar, and you're a local celebrity out in the area. Do they pull from a different water source because they are in New Braunfels, and do they have, like, I guess, more of it at their access, more of maybe that recycled water, or because they're right there on the Comal, or what's the deal? Because that course is always, I mean, like, just in it, like, tip-top shape.
Well, I don't want to misspeak for them on where they get their water, but, being a city course, there's a lot of resources that they can tap into. Not only hats off to Chad Donegan, but to Brody as well, who's the superintendent. When you're doing 50,000 rounds and keeping it all green, you and your crew know what's going on. I mean, it is a great facility. We're going to be up there this weekend with the South Texas PGA Junior. They do the Prestige Tour. It's all the top guys and girls from the age of 12 to 18 going to be out there. And then you're going to have normal play afterwards. But Chad and them guys, they have the successful formula. They know when to do it, why to do it. And that's why last year Brody was named Superintendent of the Year.
It's not a surprise. I mean, it's not a surprise. The proof is in the pudding. And I mean, I couldn't tell you, Dave. I could not tell you since the renovation. I couldn't tell you the times I'd been out there if it was in bad shape. I mean, I'm trying to think, and I'm over here and that's pretty bad when you're going to look that you're trying to find like slip ups, right? You're trying to find, this is a little worn down here. No, like, I mean, it's just like, damn, especially in the rough time it is right now, like, they're doing such a freaking great job. Brody is just like right here, Casey Carnes. Brody is a badass. Yeah, no shit. No shit, he's a badass, Like, no shit. I think everybody knows, and it hurts. It hurts the San Antonio courses because you got a small city like New Braunfels putting out one of the best courses in the greater San Antonio area, greater San Antonio area.
Yeah, and it comes to the formula of success, and they're not taking any shortcuts. I mean, everything everything from carts with lithium batteries. They give you a golf experience. And I just wanted to hit back. I feel like Kevin Bacon sometimes, like, because you always hear the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's kind of like the 6 degrees of Davy Gravy because of, I've been in the golf business since 1988. And coming back home to Texas in 92, I've been blessed to meet a lot of people. One thing I don't do, as you mentioned earlier, is I try not to burn any bridges. I want everybody to be our friends. We're in a unique sport. And in our business, we're in a relationship business. It's all about relationships. And I'm a handshaker. I like doing the hugging and the kissing the babies because we are in that relationship. And in a high-tech world, I think a lot of the golf courses in not only our area, but nationwide are giving up. In a high-tech world, we still need a high-touch presence. We need to go out there and we need to be personable to our people. We need to thank the superintendents and their staff when you see them driving down the cart path and stuff like that. You need to wave at them and give them thumbs up or something. Let them know that they're appreciated, because you know what? That little gesture is going to make them continue to do a better job, not only for their paycheck, but if they're seeing customers smile and have a good time because the golf course is in great conditions, or you're welcomed wholeheartedly in the pro shop and your cart staff, and you have golf ambassadors out there, not golf cops. I did 3 minutes behind. You got to put a flag on me. And you go out, I know you probably lost a ball on the last hole. Just make sure you play a little ready golf to get and it's all of that makes a golf experience, and that is what is so important with all the dynamic pricing going on, and all the golf is up all over the place. Whoever gives you the best customer service, like I mentioned earlier, from the parking lot when you first arrive to when you leave, those are the ones you're going to get their loyalty, because you're working for their loyalty.
I'm a true believer, formerly being in the customer service department, and we always look for those things. And then one of my good buddies, Jeremiah Sierra, he's like the Mexican Karen. He's the golf Karen of the group. He's got a template. He's got a template to complain on everybody. He goes, "Oh, bro, you know what? There was no towel in the cart, or the battery. You had to change out the cart. You know what? I got an email for that. I got a template for that, right?" And it's different. And I think everyone's fighting for the same customer, right? I think all the courses are fighting for that same customer. And it's what are they going to do that sets them apart? I think like you stated, Landa, it's always, the course is always in great shape. The carts are always ready to go. They're always clean. It's just always amazing. They have have the really nice clean bar and grill area, right? Friendly staff as you walk in over there. Beautiful scenery. You got the Comal right there. It's beautiful, right? It's very inviting. We got Worst Fest right there. You got the park, everything all around it. You got the baby dolls tubing out there, and that's what our event's called. We're having at Landa, looking at chicks tubing out at Landa. That's what the name of our event is. And it's a great event, right? It's a great name for event. And just like Alisation, has the bottled waters out there, super friendly staff. Great relationship with Juliana's, the awesome restaurant. Ben, Evan, Mrs. Reed out there, and I think it's just and guys like Chad and Mrs. Reed, and guys like Brandon, out of Gateway, where they just, they might not have to demand it from their staff, because they've already laid that groundwork down, that it's expected that if you're going to work there, you're going to provide that great customer service. And it's something that I think sets these other courses apart.
Right. And it's all about, because here's the news flash for everybody who's watching and who will be watching throughout the week, because this is taped, folks. If we don't want what happened in the last several years before COVID, we need to learn how to perform to retain. We cannot take it for granted that they're going to walk through the door. We got to keep marketing ourselves. We got to keep marketing the customer service, a great golf experience, not give them a cart that has a flat tire or it's dirty because you're turning it around. You can't go through the motions, because if it happens, then all of a sudden we're going to be in the same thing where we're going to have to start right-sizing golf courses, because they're going to have to start closing again, because they're not going to be able to meet their budgets. So for all the golf operators out there, take it from the godfather of golf, please put some customer service. I mean, in the Air Force, one of our deals is every month there's customer service training. And when I provide it on Thursday, on my Thursday briefing, I'm always talking and giving tidbits about customer service. Just a couple of weeks ago was a national get to know your customer day. And so one of the things was everybody who came in with a credit card, I told, during my briefing, grab the credit card and call them by their name when you hand it back. That little piece right there, that's $1 million, man. It's $1 million, but it's things that we don't forget. And as well, I hate to say well known as I am, but as well known as I am, there's times I've walked into a pro shop where they have somebody new who doesn't know me, and I've been treated like a number. I'm just like a herd of cattle. And so I'm thinking, well, for the guy who's really paying the premium price to be treated like that, that's why people have the stigma of cigar smoking, cardigan wearing, old, fat, bald-headed, one-eyed guys that don't want nobody on the golf course, right? And it's like I said, it starts at the pro shop. It starts at the pro shop. It starts with the cart staff. Hi, how you doing? Welcome. I mean, and Casey will attest this to it. Even when Northcliffe was in a bad shape, okay, Casey and I would answer the phone. Hey, it's another great day at Northcliffe. And people are like, why is it a great day? Because you're coming out to play golf. And it starts there. And it's all about customer service. And I could preach customer service forever because I truly believe we all have 18 or 36 holes. But you know what? Those who make you feel wanted are where you're going to go spend that extra money. Because remember, golf is not like your light bill. It's your extra money, and you have a choice to where to spend it. I want to spend it at a place where someone cares about me, not I'm the next herd of cattle number in line.
No, and you're right on there. I got some people commenting over here in regards to some courses. My buddy Arnold Garcia right here, one of my listeners, good supporters. He said Cedar Creek, horrible service. And again, I thought that too. I had some instances there several years back, right? And it's with the current manager who's there now, Fred. I had some issues with him. But I'm going to tell you, the last time I played out there, I don't know if he went through anger management classes or something. He was just such a nice guy with me because we had an event there that I host for that I was running for some Holy Cross alumni guys, classes of like 84, 85. And it was the same guy. It was Fred, that manager Fred, that a lot of people have had issues with. And you know what? He was extremely nice to us. Very cordial, very accommodating. And I was really thankful because I was worried I was going to get the Fred from like 2 or 3 years ago. And you know what? I was thankful that I don't know if anybody gave him a stern talking to from many of the horror stories, but you know what? I was really thankful and appreciative of him because it seems like he had changed his tone. And I think at times, it might take somebody realizing or losing customers or reading the complaints to kind of deal with and try to make themselves better for the company.
Okay, so that's your perspective, and I'm not backing Fred or anybody else. Okay, but I want you to think about it this way, Andy. There's a lot of pressure been put on golf operators a couple of years ago. Okay, we're going through COVID conditions. It's a revenue-driven business to keep golf courses open. It's
lack of supplies.
You name it. So there's a lot of pressure going on. Some of the guys, managers, don't know they're doing it. Now, for your average clerk, assistant pro, or somebody like that, it's shame on them. It's shame on them. Whether you're a millionaire, a thousandaire, or a pennynaire, you should be treated the exact same way. It does not cost any money for customer service. Why not have a country club atmosphere? It doesn't cost any more. It really doesn't. But it will gain you more money and loyalty in the long run. It's your best loyalty program is customer service.
I truly agree with you. I'm a true believer that you have to go out of your way to be an ass and a jerk to somebody. It takes nothing to be nice and to be kind to somebody. It takes zero. It takes zero effort to be nice to somebody. It takes everything you have, and you have to exert yourself in order to go out of your way to be an ass to somebody.
Well, right quick, on that same note, I want to give you my other part of that is in today's society, which is a high-tech society, and most people, they got 10,000 text messages because they're BFF and OMGs. They don't know personal skills because their personal skills go through their phone and their computer, right? So all of a sudden you get them in a job and they got to deal with customers, they don't actually know how to react. How many times you went out to a restaurant, you watch a family. Next time you go over, Las Palapas or somewhere, watch a family sit. How many are talking to each other and how many are all on their phone? And it's a training that the parents are giving to the kids, right? And so now they get these jobs. You know what everybody needs to go? Everybody needs to go to Chick-fil-A University.
Oh my
Chick-fil-A
gosh.
University.
Chick-fil-A.
I'm telling you, they set a standard in customer service like no other. They're quick, they're fast, and they are so courteous.
They need to run our country.
They need to run
our country. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Jeez. Can we be closed on Sunday too? That'd be good. Go to church, then go to golf.
Hey, man, they got the perfect business model. They really do, right? They really do.
Well, you take a look at that. Chick-fil-A is a leader. One day go to Chick-fil-A, and then the next day go to McDonald's, and you'll see the difference. Well, that's the way it is in our golf courses. You've got some golf courses, man, that are over the top customer service. And I will go back to Land Park with, Cy Chapa and all them guys, man. They're totally awesome, man. They welcome you when you come into the shop. I can go to some courses that I won't name on your podcast because I'm not, because who I am, right? But I go in there and, I mean, you're fighting for them to talk back to you. And I go in there asking open-end questions so I could get some feedback. And it's like pulling teeth. And so that's going to be the difference whether your golf course, besides great course conditions, will survive in the future, is if you know how to talk and treat your customer right.
I'm right there with you, man. All right, last thing I wanted to talk to you about.
All right.
I want to know where you're at with Liv, because you know what, now it seems like everyone's jumping ship. And you know what?
Okay.
The last two events, I love Tony Finau. He's my guy. I love him from Big Break. I have been following him for for an extremely long time. But I'm going to tell you, as much as I love to watch Tony play, seeing him bogey like the last 2 or 3 holes down the stretch to win a golf tournament, I didn't think there was much star appeal on those last the Wyndham, the 3M, and I didn't find him appealing. And in all fairness too, I'm not finding the Live Tour so appealing either.
Okay. So I'm going to go with Tony first. Andy, when's the last time you had a flat tire and you tried to make it to Exxon so you could change it because you didn't want to stop in the middle of the road? You're praying. Praying the wheel don't fall off, okay? Tony hadn't been in that position for a while, right?
That's true.
He was praying that his wheels weren't going to fall off, and they were going to make some mistakes, especially on 18 when he made that silly mistake. Now, the next week, he rectified the situation, right? But that's a whole nother ballgame, okay? There is star appeal on the PGA Tour. I'm a PGA Tour homer, okay? I support the PGA. I always have, always will. The Live Tour to me is an exhibition tour, okay? And after the lawyer who came out on Tuesday and kind of ruined it now for a lot of people, I'm not, if you're familiar, but the lawyer that the Live guys had in California trying to fight for the 3 guys, Taylor Gooch and them guys, to play in the FedEx Cup, he says, here's what they're doing. Their prize money that they're wearing during the week is like a draw against the bonuses that we give them up front. And to me, I'm thinking that's sounding like a car dealership giving you a $2,000 to a new guy who's selling cars. And for your first $2,000 worth of commission, it goes back to the car dealership. Then you can make money. Well, how about that guy who just made 10, 15, 20, $100 million? You're not getting paid. They're drawing back to it. Okay. I like that the official world golf standings say that 72 holes is official. I don't like personally what the PGA Tour players that jump ship did. It's all about growing the game, but no BS. Just like David Faraday said, it's for the money, okay? And you wanted to play less, but now you're finding out the reality of it, and now you're fighting in courts, and Patrick Reed's even going to the agent tour because what you said was, hey, let's go grab all this money, and don't get me wrong, the money's great, right? And it's endless, right? But I'm going to play less tournaments. And now all of a sudden I'm fighting to go play on the Asian tour. And these guys are fighting to play in the FedEx, saying it's cutting off their streams of revenue, which is BS because they just got paid that nice hefty check. The problem with the Live Tour, there are only 48 players. And there's players who played in the initial event who hadn't played since then, right? Yep. So they've signed on and they've ruined their careers, okay? Personally, I am a Tiger Woods. I'm not the biggest Tiger Woods fan, everybody knows, but I am a Tiger Woods supporter on his statement saying that these guys need to earn it in the dirt. Look at this. They just paid Phil Mickelson, what, $200 million? In the events he's played, he's 16 over. There's no, what would you say? There's no need. He knows he's going to get paid whether he makes a bogey, birdie.
There's no incentive for trying to work hard.
Good word. I'm an old guy. Remember, I'm an old guy. I turned 59 Saturday. I'm an old man. So anyway.
But you look great. You look great, though.
All right, thank you. It's the STP and my Geritol you had me drink earlier in the show. it's an ageless wonder. But I think, and this is what I said on my show, and I'll say it on yours, and that's the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour is the difference between the NFL and the USFL. Because you've had Herschel Walker and Steve Young on the USFL. You've had major stars. You got some major stars.
And that left for the money, too. And that left for the money.
They left for the money. And see how that happens? And now after this court ruling, it's a game changer. Because them guys have signed some contracts. It's now starting to become public that they're probably way over the head. And my whole thought is, and we all know it's not for the grade of the game, right? It is for the money. But they're not paying you $100 million just to go play golf. What else do you have to do for that Saudi government and Greg Norman with his personal appearances and all this other stuff to earn that $100 million? What do you have to do? And that's where I stand on it. I have not watched the LIV event. I don't care for a LIV event. I love the PGA Tour. I love the Korn Ferry Tour. I love the APGA Tour. And I'm dating myself. I like the JC Goosey tour that was out in Florida when I was growing up as a pup. It was called the Space Coast Tour.
The Hooters Tour. That's my favorite.
The Hooters Tour where Chad Campbell won at Olympia Hills shooting 66 on the final day.
The Nike Tour. The Nike Tour.
I got my Nike Tour hat right over there. Still. I got my Ben Hogan Tour parking thing right over here on my wall. It's all about earn it. It's all about earn it. And guys are now cutting their nose off to spite their face because guess what made them stars? The European Tour and the PGA Tour. They would be nothing without those tours. And they wouldn't have made all that jack without those tours. This is millionaire guys already complaining about millionaires.
And that's the truth. That's the truth. My buddy Mike Osman right here. They paid Phil for his ability to bring other stars to the tour, not to come out there and win tournaments. Everyone knows he is over the hill, hence why he's playing on the Champions Tour. And I agree with that. And that's what I don't blame a lot of those older guys who are trying to get their money. And you know what? It was kind of sad to hear and to find out that John Daly went to Norman saying, "Hey, I want in on the tour," because he feels like, some money's owed to him. And for Norman to tell him no.
Well, John Daly, who actually is a friend of mine, we talk once, maybe every 2 years now, a blue moon. I see him at the Insperity in the seniors event, which he won a couple of years back. For him, I think it's, I'm not going to say who wants John Daly because John Daly's still a draw. He's a great guy. But what would he have to offer that tour? Right now, he's in cart status because of his cancer. That's not his tour. It's the tour for the Bubbas, for the Brooks Koepka who are injured, the DeChambeau who has limited life shelf on the tour. They know it. That's why they signed with it, to grab the bucks while they can still hit a golf ball. I mean, all the players that I just mentioned have major injuries, okay? You take a look at the Henrik Stenson who, yes, he won. He was a Ryder Cup captain, but he wasn't relevant on the golf scene and winning anything in the last several years.
But I don't know why. I don't know. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't know why Henrik Stenson would do that. Was he afraid that money still wouldn't be there after the Ryder Cup? Like that, I hate. That I hate
because they're only taking 48. There's going to be somebody else like this Cam Smith or Hideki or Cameron Piercy who's calling out Cameron Smith because he's saying, "Hey, look at me! Don't forget me in Australia," right? And so there's only going to be 48. It's a limited deal. But again, there's players who have signed who have not played since the first event or the second event, and they're not because you're now starting at a little bit more star power, but without major TV rights. You can only go so far on Facebook and YouTube. And David Faraday is great, but he really doesn't have anybody to back with him. The guy with him, he's great for other sports, but he wasn't good for golf.
They don't have a 1-2 punch. They have like a
if I went over there, we might had a chance for the LIV Tour.
That's true. That's true, Dave.
Because last week I got in trouble on my show 2 weeks ago because I was Mohammed O'Gravy, and I got a little trouble with the powers to be, and
I got in trouble too. Okay.
Hey, I look at it this way: if I can't push your buttons, then it's not worth it, because if Stephen A. Smith can do it, Andy and Dave can do it. So that's the way we're going to do it.
That's right. That's right. That's true, man.
But the LIV Tour, nobody knows how long. But here's the thing: if it does die, because of the Saudis are going to want something back sooner or later about the whitewash. They're going to want something sooner or later. They're not going to get a TV contract or something. What happens to those 48 players? Do they got to go back to tour school to earn their credentials? They're not going to be welcome back. You take a look today. I've got a picture where, because everybody's saying Cam Smith signing, I watched Scotty Scheffler walk right over his line on the putting green.
I saw that. There's a meme on that. Yeah, there's a meme on that.
Because the PGA Tour players who are loyal are very upset that these guys have prostituted our game the way they have.
Now, do you think one of my buddies goes, "You look like Stephen A. Smith"?
Ooh, let me tell you, baby.
Okay, but that might be true. That might be true. But you know what? I'm using a lot of sunscreen. I'm wearing a big hat now as I'm out there on the football field. All right. So, do you think that this all could have been prevented if Jay Monahan did meet with Greg Norman and they did work something out, like initially, or what they wanted to happen initially?
No. What would have happened is Jay Monahan meet with somebody other than Greg Norman. Greg Norman has been a pain in the rear for the PGA Tour. He blames everybody. You know why it's 54 holes? Because that's as far as Greg Norman can go before he lost a major.
That's it. That's all he can play, because that's all. That's the only game he's got. That's the only.
And that's why it's LIV, which is the initials for 54. So remind everybody that Greg Norman is a 54-hole champion. Okay,
man, he's a great 54-hole champion.
Oh, great! I mean, we're talking Bob Tway, we're talking Larry Mai. I could just go on. David Frost.
I think one of the things is before Tiger, and I love golf because I honed my game at Oso Beach there in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
Right? Before it was Oso Beach, it was just called Oso. It was just called
That's
Oso,
right.
And Oso Municipal Golf Course. And my mom had got me a game on the computer, like playing on the. I had to play with the key, the up down, the directionals, right? And it was Greg Norman Golf, and I fell in love with that dang game. And he was like, before Tiger, like I knew who Greg Norman was, and I always liked him. I even wore the little shark hat. I played.
That's awesome.
But
he's always been arrogant. Okay, and that's why. Hey, if you can't hang on to Chris Everett Lloyd, you must be.
That's what I'm saying. At that point, that's when I lost a lot of respect for him, because I loved her. She was a doll, right? She's a doll.
But Greg Norman hasn't been the same since a friend of mine, and you know him, Robert Gomez, holed out at Bay Hill, which everybody goes to the plaque and hits the shot. Robert hit a 7-iron and knocked it in the hole. He had already had the defeat where he choked in the Masters. He had Bob Tway hole out from a bunker. But when Robert Gomez, who was Robert Gomez at that moment? Nobody. Holds out that 7-iron and wins the Bay Hill Championship. It was like stick a fork in him. And ever since then, he's been, trying to take down the PGA Tour any way he can. If your previous question was about Greg Norman, him talking, if there's anybody else that was in charge of the LIV Tour, I think we would have a different outcome.
I got Mike Osterman again. This does sound more and more like Stephen A. LOL. Shut up, Mike. Greg Norman is one of the greats in the past 50 years. I totally agree. To say that both can't coexist is comical. Look at which tour is saying all or nothing, and which one is saying if you want to play on one tour or the other is fine. Now, and that's where I think is tough. I do think that another tour can coexist. And I think that Jay Monahan, from my point of view, I think Jay Monahan should have took the meeting. And you're right. And you know what? You gave a lot of background as to why Greg Norman is trying to stick it to the PGA. And that makes sense on Greg's end. That makes sense because you know what? Everyone has said that he's a vindictive asshole, that nobody liked him on tour. Nobody liked him. And it's funny that a lot of the guys if these guys grew up playing the game and they know the stigma that Greg Norman has, I guess it's just really that he's got that checkbook, that's why they're leaving to go with him.
Right. And what people don't realize, and we'll answer your question from the gentleman, is they always say independent contractors coexist, da, 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 da. Here's the deal. You become a PGA member, PGA Tour member, okay? There are bylaws that were written by the players for the players. It wasn't Jay Monahan, Dean Beam. They didn't write that stuff. This is written by the players, okay? Those guys knew going in what the consequences would be if they went to the other tour. They say, well, you could coexist. You should be able to play on one tour and the other. Okay, well, let's go there with that. All right, you're a coach. All right, you're coaching your team. All of a sudden, you're going to go and say, I'm not going to coach this team right today because I'm going to go coach that other team. Oh, but now I want to go coach my original team. Okay, how do you think your players are going to feel?
They don't want to have anything to do with me.
Exactly. And that's why Scotty Scheffler's and the Rory McIlroys and the Justin Thomases don't like. Look, you want to go play for the money? God bless you. There's not an antitrust issue. They're not stopping you from going. But the thing is, in the bylaws that were written by some of these guys, there are rules and regulations, and you decided that they weren't for you and you went there. So good. Go play. Go play the LIV Tour. Go play 14 events. Okay? Because here's the thing that I don't know if a lot of people know. If they decide that the PGA Tour is going to, you had to play a minimum of 15 events. These guys are all saying, hey, I want to go to the LIV Tour because I want to play less golf. You're going to have to play 14 events in the LIV Tour and now 15 events on the PGA Tour, 29. So what little golf were you playing?
Or before it was only 8, and they thought they were getting off scot-free, and now that they bumped it off, they're still getting paid the same amount of money.
Right.
By adding 6 more
as I mentioned, because and that came from their lawyer, it's like a draw on commission. So guess what? You got all this upfront money, but we're going to take it back as you win until you exceed what we gave you as a bonus. So really, you're out there playing for free. Yeah, but they get to fly around in jets and loud music and all the cool stuff, right? But to some of the homers, that's not tour golf. And
that's not what they did it for. And that I can see and that I can respect. And that's why I have like tons of respect for Tiger, because I mean, if anybody could have gone to that tour and benefited, it was definitely Tiger. If like the injuries, the career winding down, the victory tour, that was made for a guy of Tiger's stature. But I give him, you know what? A lot of people haven't always agreed with how he's acted on the course or how he's acted off of it. But I'm going to tell you right there, that was a big FU to Norman and the LIV Tour there by him turning down almost $1 billion. I truly think that was. And I give Tiger, I mean, hey, Tiger's the man. Tiger is the man. Right here, my boy Dan Aguilar. LOL. Dan Aguilar, former caddy for Christy Cano, LPGA, Christy Cano on the LPGA Tour. The LOL, 54-hole champ.
I'm
Dan
back.
Aguilar.
There you are.
Dan Aguilar.
We're having a hell of a storm out here, so this is kind of awesome.
Hey, dude, you know what? And I appreciate it. I don't think anybody out there at home, viewers, listeners, watching, I appreciate you, Dave. I mean, man, hey, you've come back from the dead several times tonight, and I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm thankful for the rain out here. We need more of it in the San Antonio area. So when a boomer hits and internet goes, and I apologize to your audience, they deserve better than. But sometimes there's more bars and more places, but not right here. And that's. But you know what? The thing is, with the LIV Tour, God bless them. Do what you want. But before we go, I want to tell everybody, hey, folks, a little story about Andy Torres. Andy Torres is one of our most avid watchers. He still is on my show, right? Because I see who watches the show. And for him, he gave a compliment one day saying, Dave, I'm doing what I'm doing because of you. And Andy, I'm now going to pay that back to you because what you are doing, Mike and Dave won't last forever, right? And I know that. So I'm in the works of also going solo sometime down the road as well. Do my other show as long as Mike wants to. But you've given me inspiration to be Golf Talk with Gravy. So that, I thank you for, this is, it's a full circle. And I know it's crazy, but I love golf and I love being a golf professional. I love all the people that have made this world go around in the golf business. Everybody from, Andrew Peterson to, we had Thomas Hutton, the SCPGA director on, Ben Kern, we've had Casey on, Casey was going 80 miles an hour down the road, with an interview. It was fantastic. We've had the greats, we've had Tom Kite, we've had all these people. And that's what makes
Gary Player. You've had Gary Player on the show.
Gary Player on 2 times. We've had Butch Harmon talking about barbecues with Ben Hogan in the back. And what it is, yes, I have the gift of gab. I got that. My son has it. You have it. Mike has it. But I want to continue to grow the game of golf. Okay. And any way I can do it, whether it's coming on your show, the Mike and Dave show, or show, and it's not coming in the future, but down the road, Golf Talk with Gravy. We're going to do it. And you're welcome at any time. But you inspired me to look into, as Mike and Dave winds down one of these years, to keep the legacy going of talking golf in South Texas, and around the country. And I thank you for that, Andy, because you know what? I might be an old dog, but you know what? I still learn every single day. And just to see your fire every Thursday night, when I get off the air at 8 o'clock and I pop on about 8:05, 8:10 and see how fired you up, and you've got Jeremiah and you got all these crazy guys on there, and Christy Cano and all that. It makes me smile. And, that we've got something going on here in San Antonio. We've got 2 great golf talk shows that are very successful. We interview great people. And, I take my hat off for you, but I'm bald and I didn't want to blind you because, then another lightning would strike. But, Andy, you've got it going. And any way that I can support you in any way, anytime, anywhere, you're the man. You're the man. I appreciate you picking up the ball and running with it. Again, Mike and Dave won't last forever, but you know what? You're a young guy, and Mike's 72. I'm about to be 59 in 2 days. There'll be a time when we're away, and this whole game is yours, and you are good at what you do. And I enjoy your show every Thursday. Sometimes I watch it a little later, of course, but you are good at what you do. You keep on doing what you do, and promote golf and talk to these people, because you know what the whole thing is, and you're finding this out, every person has a unique story. We all don't come from the same cloth. Now you and I, Corpus Christi, that's one whole nother different thing, right? But you know what, as you're finding these people, as you did the APGA tour and all these other, man, everybody has a unique journey. Mine is unique, and it come full circle as being a sergeant in the Army, going to Korea and re-engaging in the game of golf, turning pro a couple of years later. And now I'm giving back to the military because of the job that I'm in. It's come full circle. And, yours is a whole nother, you're a coach, but you're so in love with golf and you're drinking that Kool-Aid. 2-fisted, I might add. And you know what? You're spreading the word of golf. And that is the gospel of golf. Is what we need. That's what we need. And I appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that, man. Coming from you, somebody that I respected. And it's funny you say that because, again, right, like I had everybody, I truly love the guests I have on my show. And I love the way I feel after I get off a podcast, because, again, I've done this all for y'all, for the people in the golfing community. And I just think, I had my show last week, and then, and speaking with the guys in the APGA, and they're like, man, you know what? We constantly get doors closed and open for us. And I told this one young cat, I said, you know what? Hey, man, when a door closes, go through the damn window.
Yeah, right.
Just go through the damn window. And, and it's been great. And I'm always, like you said, I'm always trying to learn. I am learning. I'm learning from my mistakes, and I'm learning from my successes too. And it is great. It is great. I'm always dropping the text. Hey, the Texas Golf Insider. I'm like the Texas Golf Insider, just a little darker and a little younger. All right.
A little darker. I like it. Hey, I'm only Chicano from the waist down, buddy. That's it. Mom, I'm sorry, but I had to say it.
I said, look at me. I said, I'm more like, there's like the bite size. I'm just like that fun size.
You are the fun size. You are the fun size, but you put on a great show. You have great guests. I love listening to your interviews, your interactions. It's not stale. It's not like some of the talking heads. And that's one of the big things that we do with our show, Golf After Hours. We're for the drinking beer, cigar smoking, fun cats. We don't want to get stuffy, and we push the envelopes. And I've seen you push the envelope several times, and I love it. And, that's what it's all about. It's all about not only educating the public and what you talk about, but having a good time. Like we're sitting there at middle of our station at the club and having a beer, and we're talking. And that's what your talk show is. And that's what, we emulate on our show as well. It's just, we're good old boys. We're having fun. We joke a little bit, but we get some serious points out, and you're spot on. And again, if I can do anything for you at any time, anywhere, you just let me know. I'm there.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dave Roberts, the grandfather of golf here in San Antonio, greater San Antonio area. That is Mr. Gravy right there, co-host for the Texas Golf Insider every Thursday nights at 7. And there's a reason why I go at 8 o'clock every Thursday night, because I'm trying to catch some of your overflow. I'm trying to catch some of the overflow. Hey, Dave, my brother, I totally appreciate you. I love talking with you, man. And
you too, man.
I thank you for dropping the knowledge on myself, along with all my viewers and listeners. Hey, man, you have a good night, and I so appreciate your time.
All right, man. God bless you, your family, and y'all have a great weekend.
God bless you too, man. And hey, and tell Ty, hey, we're going to be keeping track on him, and we're pulling for him, man. I wish him nothing but the best this season.
I will let him know. We just drove 1,700 miles in 2.5 days to deliver him and come back just to be here. So,
yes. Man. Thank you, Dave. You have a good night, brother.
All right, you too. All right, bye.
Man, Dave Gravy Roberts. He's such a great guy in this game, such a legend. And he gets it, and he's truly, him and Mike have truly been an inspiration to me starting this show and continuing it and trying to, I like how he said, push the envelope and sometimes push a little bit too hard. And I'm really thankful for the relationships that I've made with a good amount of people and organizations here in town. Thank y'all so much for your support. I appreciate it. I can't wait to have on a member or representative of the APGA tour coming up here, hopefully in the upcoming episodes. Looks like Cameron Carrion we will have either a recorded interview or a live interview with her next week, talking about her time and her experiences this past season, her successes, her failures, and most importantly, she's one of our own San Antonio, some of San Antonio's finest young golfers here in town. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please visit my website, www.NothingisOB.com. You can hit me up on different forms of social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. NothingisOB is my handle. Also, please check out my YouTube channel, NothingisOB, South Texas Golf Podcast. I'm on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud. Please click the subscribe button. You can leave a comment, rate, and review. It's how it helps me grow the podcast. I truly thank you for all your support. Remember, in the game of life, nothing is OB.